Hi friends, welcome to today's class. So today's question is, two trains of length 100 meter and 80 meter respectively run on parallel tracks. When running in opposite directions, they pass each other in 9 seconds. When running in the same direction, the faster train passes the slower one in 18 seconds. Find the speed of each train. So what's the given question? So there are two trains of length 100 meter and 80 meter and they are running on parallel tracks, and one case is they are moving in the opposite direction. So one train is moving like this and the second train is moving like this. So one train like this, one train like this. So the time taken for the trains to pass each other will be 9 seconds. In the first case, they are moving in the opposite directions. The length of the trains are given 100 meter and 80 meter. Now second case is they are moving in the same direction. So one train will be moving like this and second train also will be moving like this. Both the trains are moving in the same direction. So the faster train will be passing the slower one in 18 seconds. So 18 seconds will be the time taken for the faster train to overtake the slower train or to fully pass the slower train. The faster train will be crossing the slower train in 18 seconds. And the time taken for the trains to cross will be 18 seconds when they are moving in the same direction, and when they are moving in the opposite directions, the time taken will be 9 seconds. You have to find the speed of each train. So suppose speed of the first train is equal to x and the speed of the second train is equal to y. You have to find out the speeds x and y. So here we are having two unknowns and two data is also given. So you can solve the two equations and find out. So just be familiar with these kind of questions. So what is the total distance travelled? 100 plus 80 is equal to 180 meter. Both the trains are moving and both the trains have to cross each other. When they are moving in the opposite directions also, they are crossing each other, and when they are moving in the same direction also, the faster train is crossing the second train. So in both the cases, the distance travelled will be equal to the length of the sum of the lengths of the two trains. You have to add up the lengths to find out the distance travelled. So distance travelled is equal to 100 plus 80 is equal to 180 meter. So here you can see it is given the faster train is passing the slower one. Here there is no reference point. It is not written a man in the faster train is crossing the slower train, or it is not written a faster train is crossing a man in the slower train. Likewise, there is no reference given. So here you have to add up the lengths of the two trains in the second case also in order to find out the distance travelled. The two trains have to cross each other completely. The faster train is entirely crossing the second train. So the distance travelled will be equal to the length of the first train plus length of the second train. This first train has to totally cross the second train. So the entire length of the first train will come. It has to entirely cross the second train. So the second train's length also will be coming into the distance. So the total distance will be equal to the sum of the two lengths. Here there is no reference point. That way you can remember. There is no reference point. There is nothing written like a man sitting in the faster train or man sitting in the slower train. There is no reference. So you have to add up the lengths of the two trains in order to find out the distance travelled in both the cases, even when they are moving in the opposite directions and when they are moving in the same direction. The distance travelled is equal to 180 meter. So first case, what is happening? 180 divided by what is the speed? They are moving in the opposite directions. So you have to add up the speeds. So x plus y, 180 divided by x plus y is equal to 9. So you will be getting x plus y is equal to 180 divided by 9 is equal to 20. So x plus y is equal to 20. That is the first case. And second case, they are moving in the same direction. So 180 divided by x minus y will be the relative speed. Both the trains are moving. So you have to consider the difference of the speeds, and the time taken is equal to 18 seconds. So from there you will be getting x minus y is equal to 180 by 18 is equal to 10. Now you have to solve these two equations in order to find out x and y. There are two unknowns and there are two equations. So you can easily solve. What you will be getting? 2x is equal to 30. So you will be getting x is equal to 15 and y is equal to 5. And what will be the unit? 15 meter per second and 5 meter per second. The units are in meter and second. So the speeds will be in meter per second. So the speeds of the trains are 15 meter per second and 5 meter per second. Question number 2. Two trains run on parallel tracks at the speed of 54 km per hour and 36 km per hour respectively. When they are running in opposite directions, they pass each other in 10 seconds. When they are running in the same direction, a person sitting in the faster train observes that he passes the other train in 30 seconds. Find the length of the trains. So what is the given question? There are two trains and the speeds of the trains are given. So one train is moving like this, and in the first case they are moving in opposite direction. So one train will be moving in this direction, second train will be moving in this direction, and the speeds are given 54 km per hour and 36 km per hour. And when they are moving in opposite directions, they will be crossing each other in 10 seconds. And when they are running in the same direction, second case is they are running in the same direction. So one train is moving like this and the second train is also moving like this. And here it is given that a person sitting in the faster train observes that he is passing the other train in 30 seconds. It is not like the faster train overtaking the second train, but a particular person who is sitting in the faster train, he observes that he is crossing the second train fully in 30 seconds. So what will be the distance travelled here? A person is observing. There is a reference point. A person sitting in the faster train observing that he is crossing the second train in 30 seconds. So he has to cross the entire length of the second train. So here the distance travelled will be equal to the length of the second train. So that is the main point here. Whenever a reference point is given, the distance travelled will not be the sum of the length of the trains, but you have to find out. It will be the length of one train only. So which train you have to find out. When a person is sitting in the faster train and he is observing that he is crossing the other train, means the distance travelled will be equal to the length of the other train. The distance travelled is equal to length of the slower train. So that is the key point here. Now you can write down the formula. In the first case, what is the distance travelled? We have to find out the lengths of the trains. Lengths of the trains are not given. The speeds of the trains are given. So here also it is 54 and 36. There is no difference in that. So here the length is equal to, let the length be equal to x and y. So in the first case, distance travelled is equal to x plus y. The trains are crossing each other. So the sum of the lengths of the trains will be the distance travelled. So it will be x plus y. And what is the speed? Speed will be equal to the relative speed. Relative speed will be 54 plus 36 into 5 by 18 meter per second. You have to add up the speeds since they are moving in opposite directions. 54 plus 36 is equal to 90. So 90 into 5 by 18 is equal to 25 meter per second. And the time is given 10 seconds. So how to write the formula? X plus y divided by 25 is equal to 10. So from that you will be getting x plus y is equal to 250. So that is the first equation. Now second case, what is happening? It is a case of moving in the same direction, and here what will be the distance travelled? Distance travelled is not x minus y. There is a reference point. A man sitting in the faster train is crossing the slower train in 30 seconds. The time taken is with reference to a person sitting in the faster train. So the distance travelled in 30 seconds will not be the sum of the length of the trains, but it will be the length of the slower train. A person sitting here, a person sitting here is only observing. So he is observing that he is crossing the entire train in 30 seconds. The distance travelled will be equal to the length of the slower train, which is equal to y. So distance is equal to y, and speed will be equal to the difference of the speeds, 54 minus 36 into 5 by 18 meter per second. 54 minus 36 is equal to 18. So 18 into 5 by 18 is equal to 5 meter per second. So what is your formula? Y divided by 5 is equal to 30, which gives you y is equal to 150 meter. So the length of the slower train is equal to 150 meter. And what is our first equation? X plus y is equal to 250. So x is equal to 100 meter. So the length of the trains are 100 meter and 150 meter. The length of the slower train is equal to 150 meter and the length of the faster train is equal to 100 meter. Thank you for watching.